She's been eaten by aliens, irreversibly contaminated, turned into a vampire, a warrior, mutated, and she's won the award for the sexiest sci-fi actress. We welcome to the show Claudia Black. Claudia, welcome to the program.
Greetings, Earthlings.
It's great. You know, I've been a huge fan because FarScape was the series and I have watched it for ages.
Well, that's amazing to hear because we felt that we were working in a vacuum. It was very hard to find a place for FarScape because science fiction's quite a strange genre to place on television here. And it wasn't until recently that I went to Texas for some work and just people in the street were recognizing me, and I've just got so used to quietly bumbling along. And to hear that people are watching it means a lot to us because it's a lot of hard work and a lot of creative energy was put into it.
No, I loved it, and I love a lot of sci-fi, but particularly I thought it was an excellent program. We've got some vision of your character in there because you're a tough girl. You're the macho warrior, you know, the one who's sort of saving the world.
Very butch, never smiles. Yeah, she's a real laugh, that one.
But I mean, you work with some great people. In fact, FarScape. Was it the most expensive production ever in Australia?
Yeah,
it was like $2 million an episode.
It was something like that, and it was interesting becoming victim to the exchange rate as well, because certain things would be possible, one day, and the next day things would sort of change slightly. And I think it's certainly the most ambitious project we've ever had in terms of fast turnaround television, because we were shooting an episode every 10 days with the last 3 days overlapping with the B unit, and to shoot that on 35mm cameras. It was an extraordinary feat, and I don't know if it's anything to boast that it was the most expensive show, but we certainly put all the money on the screen, so that is.
But you could see it. It looked like a fabulous production and a very expensive production. It had that quality look about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some wild themes, as I said, eaten by aliens and all that sort of stuff. In fact, let's have a look at a piece from the show.
Okay.
A vigilante with an immobilizer pulse. What attacked Talon was a retrieval squad.
They will not relent until they accomplish their goal, recapture Talon. And to force Talon's surrender, they wouldn't hesitate to take Moya hostage. I will return to Talon so that Moya can flee immediately.
With Talon's condition worsening, Moya will not abandon him, and neither will we.
And Claudia Black is with us.
It's so funny doing it. It's sort of like soap opera in space. It's always very melodramatic. Any moment we could die. So playing the stakes of that as a performer is really funny because it's so hard not to crack up. It's like, the immobilizer pulse, but if we go through the iron backwash chamber, we could die. And then you go to an ad break, and everything's always so serious. And, I saw Galaxy Quest, and it destroyed me for about an episode because every day I would go onto set. I don't know if you've seen the film. And it was so hard to take everything seriously because we just sort of really empathized with the characters on Galaxy Quest and being on those convention tours.
And that was the complete Galaxy Quest with Sigourney Weaver. It was a complete send-up of sci-fi.
Completely, but they did it beautifully because they really captured the spirit of what those conventions are like. There are people who are dressed up like your character, cross-dresses, so there'll be guys dressed as Aaron or, women dressed as Ben. I mean, you can't blame him. He's such a spunk.
Yes, I've got to say, he's a cutie. Yeah. He's the lead guy. So tell me about those sci-fi conventions. Do you do a lot of work with those?
I limit them only because we've spent so much time working on the set that the little time that I had in between, I would try and spend time with my friends and family. They forget what we look like. And I do love to travel. That's one of the reasons why the entertainment business was very appealing to me, because I knew that I would have opportunities to travel if I was working, if I was
Well, where did it all start for Claudia Black? Because you are Australian, and even I have gone, you're Australian, that's right, because you have such a cultured accent, and I've seen the show, but you're an Aussie girl.
Yeah, I'm an Aussie, and I eat Vegemite heaps, and then everything's tops. I sort of... and it took me, my grandmother was very much in denial about the fact that she was born in Australia, and we called her, she's either called the Duchess of Darling Point, or she was called the Queen of Australia, because she was frightfully, and she brought us up to speak very round and forward, and it's taken me many years to sound like, this is about as neutral as I get, I think.
So what about your mum and dad? When you said, Mum and Dad, I think I'm going to be an actor.
Oh my God. Mum, I come from a very long line of family members who went to university. They're all academics, and I'm like the black sheep of the family, pardon the pun. And I thought I was going to have to book 2 ambulances to stand outside the house when I told them one night at dinner that I was leaving uni. I lasted 3 weeks, and the deadline at uni for paying HECS was at the end of the 3rd week, and I thought, well, before Mum and Dad have to start forking out any cash for my tuition, it's probably a good time to tell them I'm getting out. And they almost had a heart attack. It was just one of those amazing moments.
As academics, what did they do?
Both doctors, actually. Yeah. Yeah. And they're so scientific about everything. It's so funny, and they're so practical. And my sister and I are always sort of peace, love, and mung beans, and talking about, you know, all the new age stuff. And we just have these great, passionate discussions over the dinner table about Mum needing empirical evidence about things, and me saying, yeah, but if you can't really prove it, how do you know it's not there, you know? I mean, so doing a science
And then you
fiction
go and
show,
get eaten by an alien.
Exactly.
On a sci-fi.
Transmogrify with another creature and end up as a mutation.
Yeah. So what did they think of the show?
They love it. I mean, they haven't, I think the way that, unfortunately, it's ended up being programmed, the show is really for insomniacs.
How long did it take them to tell their friends you were in the show? That's
About
the benchmark.
Minus 20 milliseconds. To finally have a daughter who's an actor, who's getting paid to be an actor, that's a big difference, very big difference. They're really proud, really, really proud, and they've both come onto the set. And unfortunately, the day that Mum came, I'd actually been transformed into another creature. As you do. I mean, this was our... I mean,
Could I see my daughter, please?
Yeah, exactly. And,
she'd be the creature in the corner.
Well, you know Pilot, the character Pilot,
Yes.
who sort of basically is in charge of the ship, but not very often, and that's why we always have something to solve, because we're all going to die every episode. Pilot sort of looks like a cross between a wombat and the Opera House, I think, because he's got sort of like the things coming out the side of his head and this sort of big nose. And so they put the makeup on me, and I really did look like an Opera House wombat. And Mum turns up, and I've got like this mutated stomach with a chicken wing thing sticking out the side, and they'd lubed me up. We use KY jelly on the makeup. And they'd lubed me up with all this sort of slime and stuff, and I sort of walked out the door, and Mum just couldn't look at me. It freaked her out. She was really disturbed.
And what's more, you've got your own doll.
Yeah, and a mutated doll, no less. That's a limited edition.
I think I've got one of my own. Oh, gee, spot the difference. One of us works out.
I'm jealous. I want that kind of doll.
Oh, golly, am I having a bad hair day or what? Oh, heavens above.
That's
Not
so
another
sexy.
one. Hey, listen, Claudia, great to have you with us on the program. All the very best.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry the show's finished, because I am a huge fan. I know it'll keep rolling around,
Yeah,
so I'll catch up.
Thank you. There's more to come on air, so at least in Australia everyone will have a bit to go.
Excellent. Good on you.
Thank you very much.
Claudia Black joining us now.